Alright. Let's check out what's going on this morning. So, I took a few trades this morning. As GameStop, I kind of missed GameStop coming up. I didn't wake up early enough, but I took a few trades in here. I'm down overall in the day with GameStop. Um, the trades I took were back here. Kind of moving sideways here. I tried to take a few dip trades, down a little bit, but not too much. I also took a few trades on EYES. So I took this trade up here. I think I'm up like 200 on it or something right now. On my other account. So if GameStop starts, going crazy at some point, maybe we'll switch over to the other account. And I'll trade a bit, but right now I'm sticking with the bongos. Seeing what we could do here. Yeah, so I mean, market's been really nice. At least yesterday. Yesterday was really strong. Today, obviously, pre-market super strong so far. We have multiple stocks that are up 50%. I'm hopefully gonna take a trade on one of those. So TRIT just popped up, and so did ANTE coming into 7:30. ANTE very light volume. TRIT the continuation from earlier on this morning. Also pretty light volume though. We'll see how it holds up. Probably dedicate over to just watching GameStop so that we don't miss anything. So watch it on the 5-minute. TRIT was popping up. OGEN has popped up a few times today. Lower price stock, but still making good moves. For how low price it is, this is pretty light volume. Keep an eye on it, but might be better ones to watch. EYES, like it might up a little bit here. Keep an eye on this. Up so I can look at it. So EYES, pulled back pretty hard. At 7 o'clock, a lot of volume on this candle, but it kind of didn't move at all. So I'm interested to see what this is going to do. So the 1-minute candle is looking really good right now for the break over 21. So if we start pushing up a little harder on this next candle, then I'll buy into 21. Then looking for the move up to 22. Next candle kind of just chilling right now. The 1-minute candle didn't break through 21, so might need another minute for this to consolidate. C popping up. So we got OGN, again lower price, and PC though. And PC is looking really nice right now. Move eyes over to the to watch. If we can get a trade on AMP. So on the 1-minute, really not a setup at the moment. Okay volume on the 1-minute, not anything too spectacular, but it's not too low that I would avoid trading it. So I'm gonna wait here for setup. Pushing up. So see if I can buy a few shares as it dips. So only got filled 5 shares as we dipped. Got filled another few shares as it dipped again. So we're holding 10 shares. If it pushes up back through to $10, then we'll add more shares as it's pushing up. Otherwise, we'll just hold our current shares, looking at a bailout point of about $9. So we'll see if it pushes up. Right. Still pretty light on the volume, so I don't expect anything crazy to happen with this, unless we see more volume coming in. Start a new candle. Seems to be coming down a bit. So we'll still hold this down. See if we can get it to turn around. Yeah, it looks like it's just coming down. And we'll give this a second here. EYES still kind of just moving sideways. GME also down, pushing up over 10. So this is what we want to see. Market's been pretty crazy this morning, really, really strong. So we want to see if we can get a little dip down here. Maybe we could buy a few more shares closer to 10. Sold off 5 shares as it was coming up. Yeah, this thing is just rocket ship right now, dude. Nuts. See if we get a little pullback here if we just keep on pushing. Pushing up to 11. Push straight through 11. I could buy a few shares as it dips down. So cost basis now 1050. Get the push back up to 1150. Back a little bit. Not too crazy right now. It's very volatile, so we would expect kind of a pullback, something similar to this. So it's not completely crazy that that's happening. We're looking for a move back up here. So I sold off some shares on the way up. I'm left with my shares that I bought. 5 shares at 11.10. So not a great cost basis on those. See how this next candle shakes out, but things moving crazy good right now. So now if we start dropping down here on the, I'll probably sell these shares off. Kind of just chilling right under $11 right now. We push up closer to 11.50, maybe I'll add some shares on. But we're having a hard time popping up over 11. See if we can hold it. If we come back down below 11, I'll probably sell these shares off and look for another setup. But we're pushing up through 11.50 right now. Definitely hitting some resistance at 11. Alright, blue just blew right through it. So it looks like people are definitely taking profits in these moves, so definitely time to watch out here. I started coming down a bit, so I was trying to take the profit off the table, but I didn't get filled. See if it pops back up. Above 11, yeah, just drop through. Yeah, just sell off for right now. Maybe look for a little bit of a better setup. We just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green candles in a row. So maybe look for a bounce off VWAP if we come closer down into this like 1050 area. As far as EYES and GME, still nothing really going on at the moment. Lighter volume on these red 1-minute candles, which is good to see. So looking really good on AMPC. A news came out. Cancer detection sensor with improved performance. News on this. Came down to 1050. Seems like dip is being bought up pretty well. So I'd like to maybe get some shares here as we push back up through 11. This is for the 1 minute setup. The breakthrough 1110. Push back up to the highs. 1 minute looking good still. Back up through 1150. Kind of come down, right? Too crazy. As long as we're still holding above 1050 here, still looking okay. And if we come back up through 11 again, might want to buy a few more shares. See if we can get this push up to 7.
Hey, how goes it?
Up and down. I'm down on GameStop today.
How it's been going up?
Well, I mean, it's been going down since 6 o'clock. I'm
Oh,
up
that's
on
unfortunate.
EYES. I'm
Did you
up
get up at
overall
4?
right now.
What?
I said I'm up overall right now.
Did you get up at 4 today?
No, I didn't. I got
Okay.
up at like 5:30.
It popped. I saw it popped up like 240 almost.
I missed like everything. Fortunately, it's
Oh,
like so sad. It's like every day that I wake up like expecting it to move, it like does nothing, and then it's like every day that I don't wake up, it like goes crazy.
still wake up so it can keep having to go crazy.
It's so sad, dude. So we're coming down a little bit right now on AMPC. AMPC hold above 1050. And if we push above 1150, buy some more shares as it's coming up. Pushing up. 1135. If we can break through 1150 here. Right. So broke up pretty good here. So take 5 of my shares off. Yeah, it's so hard to trade this stock with high share size. It's just like it's like literally swinging like $1. So I'll hold
Like in
them on.
price movement or like in bid ask?
What's up?
Like in the price movement or in the bid ask spread?
No, not the spread. The spread is fine on it. It's just like the price move. So I'm gonna sell off right now. I'm not holding anything. I'm up $21 on it. So yeah, so I'm down on GameStop today. So let's see. I'm down on GameStop $150 about, and I'm up on EYES like $240.
Dang, is the EYES still going up?
Yeah, dude. Went up to $26 earlier today.
Dang, dude, you should pick some up.
It was at like $2 4 days ago.
This is sleeper stock, dude. It's back at 20 now. Oof.
Popping off. It is back at 20 now. I bought like a few of the dips when it was coming down. Like I bought the dip when it like drops down like 6.15 to $21, and then it popped back up to like 24. So that's where I made like the majority of my money this morning.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a big move.
So yeah, I'm
Surprised it's
down.
like popping off after so many days.
Say again?
I'm surprised it popped off over so many days. Usually, like it popped off once on news, and it's kind
Yeah,
of like,
it's just I mean
well,
it's. So I think we're getting some momentum now. I think today's the day. Today's the day we're gonna kill it.
in EYES.
I don't know about UIS, but I mean, it seems like everything's going really well this morning. So
I was like,
I don't know if UIS is gonna be the one. I'm up on ANPC $21 right now.
AM PC or AN PC?
ANPC. It's just going nuts right now.
Oh, yeah, these bio stocks, man. That's the strat.
Going crazy. So I'm out of it right now. So I was looking for a little bit more of a dip to get in to buy it, but it just didn't really dip very much at all.
Have you switched over to buy the dip strat instead of buying the tip strat?
I've been trying to buy the dip, dude. Buying the dip. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like buying into strength works when it works, and buying into dip works when it works, and sometimes one of them's just failing you. Buying into strength, failing me this morning. I did it again, dude. I was up on a position in GameStop. I doubled down and I got wrecked.
You only double down when you're losing. So what do you don't double down?
Only average down. That's what they say about good traders. They
Yeah,
only
dude.
average
I've
down.
averaged down the GameStop for the last month.
Yeah. GameStop's not really doing much right now. I was hoping we'd see it start moving again past 7, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, only up like 10% pre-market. Not really doing too much. Am I
I mean,
right?
it was up like 20% more than that.
Dude, that's insane. I should have got up at 5 o'clock. I guess TD doesn't trade.
Yeah,
Let you
you can't
trade
even
then.
trade, so
Oh, that's gotta be a tease.
you just watch it.
That's like some Robinhood level shit. You know, see the number goes up, and as soon as 7 o'clock rolls around, you can trade. It just tanks. It's like what the hell?
It is, dude. All right, so we're getting a little bit of a dip here. It seems to be getting bought up pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can buy some shares as it's pushing down. So I got filled for 15 shares at 1170. So I want to see this pop back up over 12. Seems to be holding pretty good. So we can ride it down to like 1125. Drops below that, then sell off. Seems to kind of be stuck in between 70 and 80 right now. Give it a second. So yeah, I'm trying to take a trade off of this resistance at 1150. See if it comes back up. If it doesn't come back up, we'll ride it down to about 1125. VWAP's sitting at like 1110 right now. It's a good place to be. Seems to be quite a big seller, like 1178. Alright, so we just blew through him. If we get this move back up through 12, want to pop right through 1220 pretty quickly if we move up through 12, and then move back up to the high of day, 1260. Kind of getting a little bit of sideways move here below 12. Dropping a bit. Buy this up. Significantly less volume on these red candles. Good. Yeah, we got 15 seconds left on this red candle. See what the next candle does. If the next candle falls through, then we'll have to sell. Want to see the next candle pop back up, make it back towards 12. See if we can come back to that 70-80 range that we were kind of moving sideways in. Blow through it. Popping up a little bit. See if we can hold it. Besides A and PC, everything else kind of just seems like it's chilling right now. We'll be watching A and PC. I got GameStop on watch and UIS on watch. But yeah, mostly just the NPC. Holding 15 shares at 1170. Trying to get this trade off here, or at least close to view up. It was holding at 1170, or just below 1170. So I tried to get the trade for the bounce back up over 12. It ended up falling through, but we're still looking good as long as we're holding up right now. Just like 1115. We're coming down to it. We'll see what happens when we touch it. Around it right now. See if we end up below it on the candle. Or if we go. Bounced a tiny bit off of it. I don't love that though. Yeah, it seems like we're falling through. I'm gonna take off some of my shares here. Oh, unfortunate. Didn't get filled, and it dropped another 20 cents. So it's the problems of TD right there. There's no like fall through price on the bid, so sometimes you hit the bid and it just moves below it before you get filled. So I tried to sell it, 1110. It immediately dropped to 1085, and I have to sell off there because now we just dropped below VWAP. Seems like more volume coming into these red candles. This last candle was red and had higher volume than any of the previous red candles, so just gotta get out while the trend is not looking good. If it turns around, makes a new 5-minute or breaks through this 5-minute candle high, then we'll take another trade on it. It was looking really, really good after it popped up on news between 7:30 and now, so I think it's still got room to run as long as it comes back up. Let's see here. So it recently had a high of 850, somewhere around there, so we're certainly above that right now. There's resistance at 1060, which is kind of what we're sitting at right now, so that might be a time to take a trade on it. And then 1218 prior to today was the all-time high. Actually, no, that's the 1 year to date. The max daily here. Oh no, yeah, still 1218 is the the all-time high. So we were sitting above it for a period. That definitely looks good for us. UIS looks like it's thinking about maybe coming back up. Kind of been moving a little bit sideways here. The lows have been getting further or closer together. So if we get a break back over $21 on EYS, maybe we're gonna move up. Put a EYS on the active trader, and we'll keep AMPC on watch. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more aggressive today. What's going on, gentlemen? I'm gonna try to be aggressive today because the market was really good this morning. The market was very good yesterday. So I'm gonna try to jump into as many things as I can if I get the opportunities to do so. AMPC, I might take a trade on it for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. It just dropped close to $10. It like spiked down. If it drops below $10, I would say it's good, and it's probably going to take a more significant period of time for it to come back up. So for right now, just bring up these charts. So the first 1 minute candle to make a new high is going to be over 1070. Might take a trade on that. It seems like it's coming up right now, so at least keep an eye on it. Have the ability to trade it here. EYES looked like maybe it was thinking about coming back up, but 5 minute candle just dropped back to below 20. I think if it's holding below 20, it's not a super good sign. Nice. I think I ended down yesterday. Like I don't think I did very well yesterday, but I think like the market after the market opened was significantly better. So I'm gonna try to buy some shares here. AMPC for this first 1 minute candle to make a new high. It just popped up and then came back down, but as long as we're holding above 1020, and I think we're all right. Whoa! Someone just put in a huge sell order. Sell off some of my shares. It just spiked back down to $10. It's just absolutely fell through the floor there. Yeah, the morning was definitely questionable. I got wrecked on GameStop again yesterday. It's just so sad, and it's my own fault. So as it was coming up to 200 here, like on the 5 minute, yeah, as it was popping up to 200 here, I had like a small position at 160 or something, like when it broke through here. Um, and then as it was coming up to 200, I was like, this thing's about to rip right through 200. Like, I'm gonna buy 50 more shares coming into 200. I bought 50 shares. I swear to you, I bought 50 shares at like 194, and then it immediately dropped like $10. So I pretty much nullified all of the gains that I made on the way up from my position at 160. I was just like, this thing is going crazy. Like, it's just gonna rip right through. I gotta be in. I gotta get a bigger position on the way up. Yeah, I know. But I was not willing to hold through such a huge drop with like a bigger position. Oh, I definitely sold. Yeah. Um, I still ended positive yesterday with GameStop and EYES. I remember how much I was up. It wasn't a ton. Like I think maybe I was up like $100 or $150 overall yesterday between um like my trades into the open, and then I think like when everything was said and done at the end of the day, trading GameStop, I think I ended up being like plus $40 or something. So I technically was up, but I was not up nearly as much as I should have been. Nice. Yeah, take those, man. I take those. See, still looking good though. Holding pretty well above $9. I didn't trade. I didn't trade AMC yesterday. I traded EYES into the open here. Made. It was just killing it into the open. I think I made like $150 on it or something. Um, maybe $100 on it, and then yeah, GameStop just tore me up. I just got absolutely dumpstered by it. But I did end up positive, so I guess it's silver lining. And then this morning, I wasn't awake for the big move that GameStop made. Um, in my other account, I'm currently yeah, I'm up $240 on EYES, and I'm down $150 on GameStop from the drop this morning because I tried to take a trade on it. Very good. Do not deviate. If you have a strategy, gotta stick to it, my man. That's what I like to hear. So AMPC made some decent trades on the way up today, but also made some awful trades on the way down. Um, both times I took trades on the way down, when I tried to hit the bid to sell off, it dropped before I actually got filled for like 5 or 10 of my shares both times. So pretty much just got wrecked. I am still up 70 cents. I was up like $22 earlier. But that's the way it goes. Market was really nice this morning. It was really nice at open yesterday. So if we see stuff pop up, I'm gonna be trying to be more aggressive today as it comes up, since it looks like people are jumping onto these stocks. Definitely more than we've seen in the last 3 weeks. Game kind of signs of life from GameStop, moving sideways a little bit above 210, but it looks like it might be coming up a bit right now. See if it comes up through view up. Kathy Wood says the name of a stock. Stock price goes up. Easy, dude. Yeah, so I didn't trade much after the open yesterday though. I only took like I took a few trades when it was coming up, GameStop, and then once I got wrecked, I didn't take a trade for a while. And I took maybe like a couple trades as it was coming up between 12 o'clock and 1, which is where I made back the money that I lost the first time. So, worse things could have happened. Still ended up positive. I'll take that. And then GME today, I tried to take a trade as it was coming up here. 645, 650. So as coming up, I tried to take a trade on it here, as it pushed up, just completely bounced off, 2650 here, or 227, and just plummeted through view up. So I sold off as it was coming through view up. Trailing stops. So stops don't work pre-market. Or were you talking about like yesterday morning, like during the morning? Yeah, I think trailing stops are. I think they're definitely nice if you give yourself enough room. Otherwise you're just gonna get like, especially with GameStop, where it's like the thing can go up, but then immediately drop $30. So it's like you have to have your trailing stop really far out, um, if you want to.
Keep chopped up.
Yeah, or else you just get wrecked. Like you have to have your trailing stop so far out. Yeah, dude, you just get chopped up. David already knows what's up. So AMPC still holding below VWAP, kind of just chilling there for the time being. Check out VBIV. Lower volume at the moment, so I'm not like super psyched about this, but give it a chance. See if it keeps pushing up. If not, we'll switch back to watching UIS and ANPC. I know OGN or OGEN. That's weird. Why that is? I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually used the trade stuff, because like I really don't like holding positions, and like just like letting them sit. Like if I'm holding a position, I want to be like actively managing it, which is to the detriment of the position most of the time. But there's only one way to get better at it. Why, yes, coming down even further, so it's holding below 20 right now. It's definitely not what we want to see. But as long as it's holding above 1880, I guess it's not horrendous. Yeah, I feel you. I definitely do too. Especially in like these more volatile stocks where it's like, it's just moving. It's moving like crazy. So it's like as soon as it moves up, like 50 cents or something, I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just take some profit right now? And then Like once I take profit, then it's like my position is so small that I'm like, even if the thing goes up like another like dollar or $2, like the amount of money that I'm making is like negligible, which I guess isn't really the point at the moment, because in theory, as I get more used to this and as I get better at it, my positions will get bigger. So if I start, if I do take a little bit of profit early, like have a. So are you mainly just trading options, gentlemen? Or are you doing stocks as well? Yes, it's very difficult to take off half of a call. Surf popped up, but very light volume. Doesn't really look like there's too much going on with it at the moment. Let's check out some of the other stuff we were looking at. OGEN, pretty low price stock, but if it did continue moving up, I was thinking about taking a trade on this. Dropped down from $1.50 all the way back down to 125. So not definitely not what you want to see. I know INVO popped up earlier today, but yeah, it looks like it's pulled back pretty significantly as well. AMPC is what we're watching currently. GME we got on watch over here, and it seems like it's coming up a bit right now, but still below VWAP.
I can hear you in Discord. I have you muted on my TV.
Is my stream like freaking out on TV?
Yeah, it's frozen.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. My OBS just like died for a second there, but it should be back now in theory.
Oh yeah, that-
I don't know what's going on with my OBS.
it's like super blurry though. I hope it's fixed.
I don't think there's
I think
much
you're
I
back
could do
online.
about that. AMPC coming back up for this break over the 5 minute. So I try to take some shares on this as we come up. See what we end up holding. As long as we're holding above 10 right now, we're still alright. I'm gonna try to buy a few shares on a dip here. See if we can get filled. Alright, so bought 15 shares, cost basis is 1040. Like this candle to hold above 1016. So I bought this. If it doesn't, we'd still like this to hold above $10. Bond yields have dropped yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my OBS. My OBS is like freaking out. It keeps on like dropping and then reconnecting and dropping and reconnecting. Could just be my internet's a little spotty today. I have Comcast, so like I don't trust it. I don't know what's going on. So we have ANPC pushing back up through 1050 right now. So we want to see it hold above 10 here. As long as we're holding above 10, I think we're still looking okay. Ideally, we'd want to push up through VWAP fairly quickly as we're making this move here. Maybe in the next 5 minute candle. We got 40 seconds to the next 5 minute candle, so it's weird. OBS is cutting out, but like my market data and stuff isn't. Like I'm still like my charts are still updating and everything. So I don't know why OBS is having issues at the moment. And GameStop also coming up to VWAP right now. So this 5 minute candle, we want this to close above 1016. As long as we're closing above 1016, we're looking alright. close thing. So I just closed 1023. That's all right for right now. We'd like this to hold above 10. And if this, this 5 minute candle, it's strong and we have more volume coming into it, we should get a move back up to VWAP. So holding 15 shares at $10.40. If we drop down below 10, probably cut it. But for right now, holding. Still looking good. We are pushing down a little bit, which I don't want to see. I would have liked to have seen, well, yeah, as I say, this starts coming up a bit, but I would have liked to have seen this 5 minute candle just break straight through up, come in with some volume and break through just like it's doing right now. So now we want to hold above VWAP as we come back up to 11. Probably buy some more shares. Wait to see if we get a little pullback here. Not. And buy a few more shares as we come up to 11. Breakthrough. Cost basis is $10.60 right now. It's having a rough time breaking through 11 here. Alright, coming back up. We're coming back up. Pushing up to 11, pushing up. We tapped it like 3 times just now. So hopefully we should see a breakthrough here. I'm going to take off a few shares as we come up to 11. Just take some profit. Right now we want to see this 5 minute candle close above VWAP. On the 1 minute, back down to 10.13 is even a possibility. But we'd like to see it hold above 10.50. It's holding above 10.50, then it's really strong. It's looking really nice for a move back up here. This is the 5 minute chart I'm watching right now. The 1 minute chart has been good, not too much, not too many false breakouts or anything. So I kind of trust the 1 minute breakouts a little bit more than I have some of these other stocks in the last few weeks. So up through 11, seems like we're holding up at 11 fairly well. 2 minutes left on this 5 minute candle. Let's see what this next 1 minute candle does. I experience a bit of a pullback, but that's fine. If we get a pullback back closer to VWAP and then we come back up, then I'll buy through this 11.20 level as we push through it. So watch out for this little bit of a 1 minute pullback right now. Chart for you guys to check out here. So 1 minute pullback coming in. We'll see 30 seconds when the next 1 minute candle comes up. If we start pushing back above 11.20. So if this candle closes red and then we push back up through 11.10, I'll buy some shares for the expectation of the move up through 11.20. And again, on this 5 minute, as long as we're holding above VWAP, we're still looking alright. So we're pushing up. So I bought 5 more shares as we came up through 11. Didn't get a super good fill on that, unfortunately. But as we push up through here on the 1 minute, we'll see if we can hold above 11.10. Hitting a little bit of resistance coming up to it. Cost base is now a little higher, 10.84. But still, as long as we're holding above like 10.50, I think we're still looking good. I think my stream has kind of stabilized. I haven't seen my OBS say anything, or like say that it's disconnected in a bit. So we want to see the 5 minute candle. The 5 minute candle closes in 10 seconds. We'd like to see it close above VWAP. 5 minute candle closing above VWAP would be So it did close above VWAP, which is nice. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a pullback here. On the 5-minute chart, we just put in 2 green candles. This last green candle had the highest volume of the day by a pretty significant amount. So I could potentially see a little bit of a pullback coming in. Yeah, we hold above 1050. Still looking. We'll see if we get a push back up to 11 here. Yeah, it's hitting a little bit of resistance coming back up. GameStop broke up through VWAP but then pulled back, so not a super good indicator there. I mean, still obviously looking amazing, but in the short term, we're gonna have to wait until it comes back up through VWAP again before we'll think about taking a trade on it. So it's taking a lot of volume to push up through 1090 right now. So I'm going to take off a few shares here. Just because yeah, we're having some difficulties pushing back up at the moment, and since we're so close to VWAP, this might be a time where people decide to start selling through. So pushing down further here, I'm going to take off the rest of my shares. Wait for another opportunity to buy when we come back up. It's just definitely a lot of selling pressure as we're coming up. So wait for a bit of a better opportunity. This is the time, if you look at the 5-minute chart, where this break over VWAP here, this could have been a false break over VWAP. So as we're coming back down through VWAP, kind of want to see like with what volume we're coming down and how much selling pressure there is on the pushes back up. And it looked like we had quite a lot of selling pressure pushing up through $11 after we broke it here. So that's why I sold off my position. Wait for another 5-minute setup. If we can get this 5-minute candle to close, and then as we break up through 11 again, if we break up through 11 and we see less selling pressure coming in, then probably be a nicer trade than trying to hold through this. And it came back down through VWAP, so it does at this point have the potential to pull back even further. So rather not hold through this pullback and then instead buy back in as we push back up. And AMPC was really, really strong when it popped up at 7:30. So if we do see volume come back into this and people start buying again, we can expect to see similar strength again, hopefully. While we're watching over here, EYES also coming up through VWAP again. We'll see if it actually holds up this time. So 2 5-minute candles in a row that came up through VWAP, pulled back. I guess 3 5-minute candles in a row. So it's definitely having a tough time holding up above VWAP at the moment. It looks like it's pushing up pretty good right now. A very large 5-minute candle with an entire minute left on it. It's already one of the highest 5-minute candles today, except for 7 o'clock. We'll see how it closes. Again, like I said, several 5-minute candles back here came up above VWAP and then pulled it back. So we want this 5-minute candle to hold above VWAP in 30 seconds. A little bit more of a pullback on ANPC, so to pull back to $10.20 now. So probably going to be a minute before we make a trade on it again. And overall positive on ANPC, not by a ton since I added going into $11 to try to catch the move further up. I was hoping that this consolidation, there was some little consolidation on the 1 minute back here. I was hoping this 1 minute consolidation would result in, as this 1 minute candle pushed up, we broke through 11 again, but yeah, just ended up coming down. Why, yes, 5 minute candle ended green and ended above, so good. Um, Things to kind of be wary of. We were at $26 earlier today, so now as we're pushing back up to $26, there's probably going to be quite a bit of resistance as we go because people are holding from up here. I think especially in this around the 7 o'clock area, so around between $20.50 and $21.50. Probably quite a few people still holding from here. So we might expect some selling off as we come up into that area. And GME just took another downturn, but still moving generally sideways. The fact that it's slightly under VWAP is not super concerning. So we know that it has the potential to move back up pretty quickly. Highest volume candles on the day on GameStop are all red. So, not a good indicator. So if we want to see, or if we want to make a good trade on GameStop, we're gonna have to wait until we see a green candle with just as high volume as some of these red candles back here. But even for how high the red candles are back here, they didn't really move the stock price down too much. So I'm not fully. Well, yes, a little pullback after this 5 minute. So this might be people taking profits or trying to get out, from higher positions. So now on the 1 minute, if it comes back up through $20, might be a time to make a trade. So put it on the active trader window. Just dipped below VWAP, but if it comes back up through $20 and then holds up, then it's good. Then we will have tested VWAP and succeeded in holding above it. Oh, spiked a little bit there. We'll see what happens here. Alright, so we're looking good at the moment. So I'm going to try to buy a few shares on the bid. So as it's dipping, to try to get a little bit of price. Build 10 shares, $20.14. So decent for right now. I would have liked to have bought in the 1990s area as it came up, but there was a fairly large order that spiked the price from like 1975 up to $20 immediately. And then at that point, I didn't want to buy straight into the $20 level in case we rejected off of it. So a little bit of a worse fill, but as long as we're holding above 1995, I think we're looking solid, right? At least on this 1 minute candle. So now once it's broken over VWAP, we want to hold above it. We don't want to dip back below VWAP in this situation. On the 5 minute, we're building a little red hammer here. So looking good on the 5 minute. Current candle's high is 2052, so breaking above that would be really good on this candle if we could do that. Otherwise, the next candle breaking above would be equally as good. It's a little choppy. It just broke above 2050, spiked down to 2010, back up to 2050, back down to 2010. Now we're kind of at 2030, so seems to be quite a lot of sell orders coming in above this 2050 area, which is kind of what I was talking about before. There's probably a lot of people holding from between 2050 and 2150. We'll see if it can make a move through this area. If it starts coming back down towards VWAP, then we'll probably sell off our position. And if it can make a move up through 2050 and then past 21, then we'll have passed a lot of the people who are bag holding from earlier today, and then hopefully we'll have a better move, back towards the high of day. Okay, a lot of selling coming in, man. What is going on? Alright, so we're tapping. We bounced off VWAP a few times, but yeah, I gotta sell off there. That was just brutal. Just dropped $1 a share. Quite a lot of selling. I don't love the look of that. Looks like someone sold off like a 50,000 share position or something there. That was not good. Yeah, so 2050 seems like the place to beat. There, it's not, it's definitely not good. I don't love that we tested VWAP again, pushed back above it, which was really good, and then we had this massive red candle. So I really don't like that. I'd like to see it move up a little bit more if I'm going to take another trade on it. But since the market has been strong, I'm just trying to take, I'm taking all the trades I can see. Anything that looks remotely good right now, I'm trying to take a trade on it. So XELA popped up while I was taking that trade on EYES, I think. Maybe a little bit earlier, but it's got good volume. I'm trading in like a pretty close range. Trading like it's a pretty high float stock, but it should only be a 25 million share float. So I don't know. Maybe one to keep an eye on, but yeah, definitely trading as if it seems like it's a higher float stock. 200,000 shares of volume, and it only moved the stock price 15 cents. Not a ton of movement for that amount of volume. So got AMPC pulling back. So this is so if we look at the charts here, when I was talking about AMPC earlier, as it was coming back up, I took the trade coming up, and then as it pulled back and pulled down below VWAP, I didn't want to hold through this because once we popped above VWAP and then pulled back a little bit, if what ended up happening is kind of what I was afraid of, where it pulled back below VWAP, and essentially this was a retest of VWAP in the other direction, right? So the buyers tested VWAP, they bought up above it, and then the sellers won out. So now it's kind of selling off a little bit more. So we would like to see it push above VWAP, hold above VWAP, and then maybe we could get a move back up to the high of day. But it looks like it's pulling back a little bit too much right now. I don't think we're going to get a chance to take a trade on that for a little bit. EYES still kind of trying to figure itself out after that massive sell-off it had at 2050. It's just a deep red candle on 1 minute. 150,000 shares of selling. So someone was definitely getting out of a position there, or putting on a really big short position thinking it's going to go down. Yeah, we lost about, I don't know, I think we lost like 50 cents a share that trade. Unfortunately, since the selling came on, like very violently. We were at 250, and then all of a sudden, within a couple seconds, it was pushing 20, and then once it pushed below 20, it immediately dropped into like the 70s. GameStop on the 5 minute coming up to test VWAP again, seemingly. Really light volume on GameStop at the moment. It's coming into 8:30 right now. So at 8:30, definitely a time to check the watch list. For any of you guys in the chat that are new, Check out my scanners, oliveguardians.com. It has scanners for like anything that's moved up 25% on the day, so just like a normal watch list, and then for anything that has moved up at least 8% in the last 5 minutes, so usually catches things popping up on news. So that's what I'm going to be watching coming into 8:30 right now, seeing if anything comes up. And then also keep an eye on the charts that we're currently looking at to see if there's any new volume coming in at 8:30. I don't really see anything. Everything's kind of just doing the same thing it's always been doing in the morning. Essentially break even on the day, down $1. Made a good trade on AMPC to start the day, coming up at 7:30. On definitely less shares because of it was trading on fairly light volume, and it was spiking, 30 cents in either direction really for the first few minutes that it was trading. So we took the trade up. I think we ended up making like just over $20 on it on like 10 shares volume, or 10 shares. So we made like a $2 move on this, or we caught a $2 move on this on the way up. And then we got wrecked as it was coming down here. Tried to take another trade on it up through VWAP, and didn't end up working out. So overall, up like $5 on it on the day, and EYES down $5 on the trade that we just took. So break even so far. So there was quite a lot of momentum earlier this morning, between like maybe 5 and 7. So I'm hoping that this is kind of just like a chill out period right now. We're just hanging out, and then as we come into the open, we'll get this momentum back. That is my expectation for today. Since yesterday seemed really nice at the open, I'm hoping for a repeat of that today. Especially because we've seen, EYS made a big move yesterday, and now it's even higher than it was before. So hopefully coming into the open, this thing will start popping back up. If we could break through this 2050 level, maybe we could take another trade on it. So it's coming up to 2050 right now. I want to see how it reacts to pushing up to 2050, since it did not react well last time. So this time it broke straight through 2050. So now we got to figure out when we think the proper time to get into this is. I didn't take the trade when it was coming up below VWAP, and then I wanted to see if at 2050 we saw this huge selling coming in again, which we didn't end up seeing this last time. Now it's starting to make a move. Not really any good setups to get in at the moment. We'll see if we can get a dip, and if it dips, if it dips pretty hard, we might be able to get some shares coming in. So try to get 10 shares as it dipped down to 21. I didn't get filled. So it just got filled as it dipped to 21 again. We'll see if it ends up holding up. Just 10 shares for the time being. As long as we're holding above 2050 right now, I think we're still looking good. And if we see that crazy selling coming back in, then I'm going to jump out as swiftly as I humanly can. Unfortunately, with TD, a lot of the times when you're trying to hit the bid, it'll just, it's just like slide right past you, and then you're just sitting there with shares still, and it dropped another 30 cents. So I kind of have to be careful. If I do see that big selling coming in again, I'm going to try to jump out as quick as I can. But as long as we're holding above 2050, still looking okay. And we want this 5-minute candle to close above 2050. So we got 15 seconds. As long as we're still holding up, we look good. Then maybe we'll see the next 5-minute candle pop up and try to break over this previous 5-minute candle high of here 21.25. So that's the next level to beat for the 5 minute. Pushing up right now, kind of hitting some resistance at 21.25. Yeah, so this is around the time at 7 o'clock, around 21:50, where this massive amount of buying and selling happened. Highest volume candle of the day. So there might be a bunch of people still holding around this level and trying to get out as we push up to it. Broke over 21 or 21.25, but only by a few cents. See if we can get a little bit of a better push here. Yeah, 21.50 is going to be a pretty big level of resistance, I think. We can break through it pretty quickly. I think we'll get a really, really good move through on the break. Right now, I'm just holding my shares. Got them at 21.01. Then I want to see if we get another setup. Maybe I'll add some more shares to it as we come up higher. Pushing back down a little bit, but nothing too crazy at the moment. Seems like a lot of selling off, but I'd say the volume is not super high on this candle. Big spike down to 20.50. So we'll see if this is getting bought up. If the dip's getting bought up, then maybe we'll add some shares. So let's see if we can get some shares here. Tried to buy in the bid as it pushed back down, but didn't get filled on anything. So as we're coming up through 21, I try to buy a few more shares here. So now I'm holding 20 shares at $20.96. The expectation that we push back up through 21. That selling that pushed it down all the way to 20.50 seemed like it was another big position being sold off. The spike happened really, really fast. So I'm hoping the buying volume will come back in here and we'll push back up. 5 minute or high of this 5 minute candle is 21.40. So that's the next place to beat. I think pushing into 21.50 is going to be quite a bit of resistance. I'm still liking this 20.50 level above, so as long as we're holding above 20.50, I think we're still looking okay. If I say that, push down below 20.50. So we push down and we bounced back up pretty quick. So I'm gonna hold here and see what happens. It's just like the selling is so spiky on this. It's very odd. Like we're pushing back up a little bit. So yeah, we did drop below 20.50, but immediately bought back up. So I think we're still looking okay here. Kind of, I mean, there isn't like really any specific level that we bounced off of. Maybe like one of these previous 5 minute candles highs, but not anything that looks like super significant. So gonna hold on here. Looking for this pushback above 21. Now that we have a little bit of a pullback from 21.50, if we do push back up through 21, maybe we'll have some more people buying with us because now there's a few more setups on where to buy. Like on the 1 minute, if we push back above 21 or 20.92 right now, it's a place to buy. On the 5 minute, it's closing in 30 seconds, and then as we push back up to 21.40, it's a place for people to buy into. So a few more setups for people now, so hopefully if we start pushing up, we'll see some volume coming in. Did just see the break through 21, but then immediately sold back down to 20.90. I don't know if it's people just holding big positions up higher or people putting on big short positions, but the the selling volume is like crazy. You know, we're looking fine, buying, 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 moving up, and then all of a sudden like immediate 10,000 shares of selling or something. It's just a very significant uh, trades happening, individual trades, I guess, with a fairly deep like through value as well. I mean, we saw these things drop. So like whoever is selling these big positions, they slipped essentially when they started selling at 21.50. They slipped all the way down to $20. So it's like 50-cent slip. Uh, did I say 20.50? Maybe I meant 21.50. So as it pushed up to 21.50 here, like someone put in a huge sell order here, and it slipped down like 50 cents. And we came down to 20.50. It broke down below 20.50, but then pretty much immediately got bought back up, which is why I'm still confident in holding the shares that I'm holding, hoping for a move back up to 20. My cost base is 20.96 right now, so slightly better than I was trying to buy in as it was pushing up through 21. And then I bought on the bid as it pushed back down, so I got filled in at 21 for the first few shares that I bought, and then I got filled as it came back down at 20.90. So cost base is looking okay right now. Right in the middle of this consolidation area. All right, coming up through 21, looking good. Now let's see it come. Let's see it push up to 21.50. Let's see it. I'm ready. And as we push up through 21.50, maybe if it comes up between 21.75 and 22, maybe to take a few shares off, depending on how it's looking. And I think our bailout point's still in that 20.50 area. The fact that it got bought up is why I didn't sell as we pushed down through it. But if we push down to it again, I'll probably sell off closer to 20.50 before we get down to it. We got a few minutes on the 5-minute candle, so 5-minute candle hasn't broken above the previous high yet, so we still have a chance to do that. And then I'm hoping as this 5-minute candle comes up to the previous high, maybe we'll see other people coming in with some support, because it's like a good technical level to buy at. So keeps bouncing off the Bollinger. I don't have Bollinger Bands on my chart, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love like having all of the bands on my chart, or like having all of like the studies on my chart. Because like even like even not knowing the Bollinger Band, if you look back previously, 21.50 was like a serious level of resistance. So yeah, even without the Bollinger Band to take into account, it kind of makes sense that it's bouncing off around this level. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so I have the moving averages as well. But yeah, so I have VWAP and moving averages. I don't like MACD or I don't have like the upper or lower bands of VWAP or Bollinger Bands or Fibonacci whatever retracements or whatever the hell they are called. Just not my deal. Maybe one day if I look through them more seriously and it seems like one of them is helpful to me, but I honestly don't know enough about them to like have the confidence to trade off of them. So EYES still just kind of moving sideways here. I was hoping this this 5-minute candle would be the 5-minute candle to break up through 2150. We'll see what this next 5-minute candle does. If it immediately falls through, I'll probably sell off some of my shares. Just because I'd like to see, we've had two very small 5-minute candles in a row. So I have a feeling that this 5-minute candle is going to be the one that makes the break. I'd like to see it break up. If it starts breaking down, then I'm going to sell off my position pretty quick. And as far as some of these other stocks we're looking at, ANPC kind of still just doing nothing. GME moving sideways right below VWAP, so kind of in the exact same place that we left them. So EYES, really the one that is moving up a bit at the moment. So 5-minute candle breaking down a little. Don't love this, so I'm going to take off half my shares at least. Like I said, yes. It's just alright, so I'm out right now. I had to take it off since it just broke down so hard through $20.50. Morning, Tom. What's going on, man? Yeah, I don't love the way that this is acting. Like so close to VWAP, it just broke down on this 5-minute candle, broke down below the prior 5-minute low, getting closer to VWAP. It's down below 2050, which I think is like the level to watch. So I'm just not in love with it right now. Maybe if it comes back up, think about taking a trade on it. But right now, out of it. Getting close to 9 o'clock now. So we'll see if anything else pops up, or if anything else starts moving that we had on watch for the rest of the day. So, like I said, AMPC is just looking rough. It's definitely looked better. It's way below VWAP now. It doesn't look like it has any intention of coming up. Last 5-minute candle was a very weak 5-minute candle. It sold off into the highs, so it's just unfortunate. So I thought it was really funny this morning. The two stocks that were like popping up the most at like 6 o'clock were eyes and ears. I thought it was, appropriate. I don't know if like ears is actually in somewhat related to eyes, like if it's like a their parent company or something, but just like both body part stocks moving up. So yeah, ears still just pulled back. INVO made a really big move like very early in the morning and spiked really hard, but has pretty much done nothing ever since. GME we still gotta watch. GME just coming up through VWAP right now, so might be one to keep an eye on with volume, or at least much greater volume than we've seen recently. Maybe let's get GME on the watch right here. So up here, this previously double topped at 219.50. Give me 280 end of day. I would be very pleased with it if it did that. I'm all for it, my man. So just double topped at 29 or 219.50. This 1-minute candle seemed to have bounced off the same area, so now it's like a triple top off 219.50, which triple top's not good. Definitely not good. On the 1-minute, on the 5-minute, how's it looking? In the 5-minute still looks okay. You definitely move up here. So yeah, still resistance at 219.50, but seem to have just popped up through it right now. A lot of buying coming into 220, but like, wow, that was a significant amount of buying. We'll see if this holds above 220. It seems like it's holding above 220, and take a trade on it. So I'm kind of being a little careful with it, just because it's popped up through VWAP before, has came back down below it, and stock moves pretty significantly. So want to make sure that it's actually making the move I think it's making before I buy in on it. Let's see. So it is holding above 220 right now. That last 1 minute candle was really big, really big. All right, so we're making a new 1 minute candle high here. So I'm gonna buy a couple shares. Buy 5 shares to start this, and then as we push back up, like probably gonna be. I mean, there's scattered resistance as we're coming back up into between 220 and 225, but it looks like really the major next resistance point is going to be 224 and then 226.50 afterwards. So looking good at the moment. Really, as this is coming up into the open after it's moved so much, if assuming it's going to make a bigger move, I'm going to try to like accumulate a position a little bit more slowly here. So if it pushes up and then comes back down, every single time it makes a new 1 minute high, I'll try to buy some more shares on it as we're pushing up. And I think right now, I mean, the stop is going to be down at VWAP, which is 218 at the moment. So we still got a lot of room to run before we're really worried about having to sell. Active trading window so you guys can see. Came up above 222. Like I said, we're going to want to wait for pullbacks. And then on the pullback, if we think it's holding at a good level, we can buy on a dip and a pullback. If not, we want to see a pullback and then a break of a 1 minute high. And then on that break, then we'll try to add to the position. And we're coming up into this 224 area right now, which I think is going to be a little bit of resistance. One of the big red 5 minute candles that we had previously, topped out at $24. So that's the biggest red candle of the day. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of resistance coming into this. Might be a time to look for a little bit of a 1 minute dip, and then as we come up through 224, then add another 5 shares onto my position. Hopefully, as we push back up, can accumulate a little bit of a position as we push up through. Seems strong at the moment, though. Coming into 9 o'clock. I've been let down by 9 o'clock before, though, so I'm not going to keep my hopes up. Trade more realistic. I always keep thinking that like maybe coming into 9, since we saw it a few times in late January when it was coming up. Coming into 9 o'clock was really big time because the Robinhood traders jumped on and started buying it up, but in recent weeks, we have not seen that. 9 o'clock has not been a very good time, at least for volume. So, if there is increased volume coming into it, and it seems like people are buying it up, then we'll add to the position. Otherwise, we'll just keep the current position we have and hold it back down to VWAP, which is 218.67 at the moment. And you can see on the 1 minute chart kind of what I was talking about, where we pushed up to 224. We've triple topped at 224 right now. So that triple top, when we break through it, should look really nice because we'll get a nice move through it. and I'd like to add as we push through 224 now, since we've hit a little bit of resistance at it, we've pulled back a couple times. If we break through 224, then I'm pretty certain that we'll probably. Well, I mean, I hope that we will hold above it. If we don't end up holding above it and we immediately come back down, then maybe I'll sell off those shares that I bought. But now we have a quadruple top at 224. And I would say, like, generally, the more times you hit a level and bounce off of it, the more likely it is that you, like, dip from it. But also, when you finally do break through that level, usually the break is a little bit cleaner. Because once people see that it's broken through a level that it had problems with before, then more buying starts coming into it. Give this some time. Still looking good on the 1 minute. 5 minute is looking pretty nice. We closed with a red 5 minute candle, which is really good. Because now, if we get this breakthrough 224, not only is it a 1 minute breakout, it's also a 5 minute breakout. Well, actually, just kidding. It was 1 minute ago. Alright, so maybe at 9 o'clock, when this candle closes red, then we'll have a 1 minute and a 5 minute breakthrough at the same time. That's it's really good when stuff lines up. Like, sometimes you'll see stocks that are like seemingly waiting for a breakout, and then with like 30 seconds left on a 5 minute candle, like, it'll start going up. And I would say, in my experience, the majority of the time you see something break through early like that, it usually ends up pulling back. Sometimes it's like better to kind of like wait a bit, wait for the right time to make the breakthrough, and then break through. So you see, after we quadruple topped, as we pushed, it made a really nice move straight from 224 up to 225. So I might wait for a little bit of a pullback here, it to like settle down a bit. I'll try to buy on the bid, see if we can get 5 shares on the bid if it pushes down a tiny bit. If I can get those shares on the bid, and then we hold above 224, then we're still looking really. So getting closer to where my fill is. So I'm just gonna buy it on the ask right now, just because it dropped down to 225. And I was trying to get filled at like 224.75 or something. So just having the shares is probably better than waiting for it to dip. And then if it doesn't dip, then me having to buy it higher if it pushes back up. So broke through, pulling back a little bit right now. Not super concerned with this. It holding above 222 right now is probably pretty good. A little bit of selling coming in. Like to see it hold above 222. That was this 1 minute candle low, and also this 1 minute candle low. So now it's triple bottomed at 222. So a good support level there. I think we're still looking all right. Now we have this 5 minute candle is closing in a minute and 20 seconds. So as long as this 5 minute candle ends up closing above VWAP, then we've had 2 green candles close above VWAP and a red candle close above VWAP. So I think we have successfully stayed above VWAP at the moment. At least this is the best run that we've had so far, seeing as we like bounced off of it a couple times earlier today. So now that we're holding above VWAP, and it's coming into 9 o'clock, then maybe we'll see some people who are willing to buy, especially because we've had a really nice buying pre-market. Oh, nice. It's sad then you can't trade in the morning, man. My hair is out of control right now, dude. I gotta get a haircut at some point. My hair and my beard are completely out of control. Oh, that's cool. Gotta have your priorities, man. That's sick. All right. So now we kind of had the opposite of what happened previously, right? We quadruple topped on the 1 minute. Now we've quadruple bottomed. So if it breaks through 222 now, I would expect to see a move probably down to view up. But the fact that we quadruple bottom means that we have quite a bit of support at that level. Hopefully we can hold above it. Yeah, I mean, 11 is like more than enough, I feel like. Most of the time, like coming into 11, like everything's just like calming down for like the lunch rush, you know? So I had already bought shares coming into 224. Obviously, I bought them at 225 as we're up here. So I'm not going to add again, but on this push up back over 224 might have been a time to add. But I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious since I bought up at 225. Let's see the push up through 226 now. Get really, really nice support at 222. I don't know, someone was holding it down there, I'm sure, because I saw quite a lot of selling going into it. So probably someone with just a really big sell order sitting on 222, just eating it all up. On the 5 minute, so on the 5 minute, we've had two very small candles. So, well, actually, this candle isn't closed yet, but you know, this candle is trading in a pretty small range right now. But I think once it breaks out of this range, maybe start making a move to whichever direction it breaks into. So 222 is the bottom of the 5 minute candle. I said before, on the 1 minute, it's tapped off of it a whole bunch of times. And then coming up in this 226 level, we saw quite a bit of resistance. So this is kind of like, you know, it dipped through it earlier today into this range, came back up, fell out of this range, came back up into the range, fell out, came back up into the range, fell out. So between this like 222 and 227 area, um, there seems to be quite a lot of like indecision. It's been up and down through it several times today. So once it breaks out of this 227 area, though, um, you know, there's some resistance at 229. There's some resistance at 234, but we're looking good if it breaks up through 227. And on previous days on GameStop, I was trying, you know, I feel like every time I held, I just like got absolutely wrecked by it. But it seems to be trading okay today. Um, Obviously made an amazing move early in the pre-market, so might get some people coming in into the open. Uh, Little FOMO, trying to get, trying to make the move happen again. We were sitting here, a few things popped up on the scanner, but nothing too interesting. SINT popped up. Lower price stock. Decent volume, but quite a lot of selling volume coming into it, so I probably wouldn't trade it until it had more buying volume. And while I'm talking, GameStop's coming up to 226 again, so we'll see what it does at this level. A little bit of a triple top here at the moment. We'll see if we can break through it. SINT popped up and AEHL popped up. But AEHL didn't move very much. IDEX, same thing, didn't move very much. So just tapped 226, so we've just put in a new high. See if we can break through 226. Quite a lot of buying coming into it, so it's good to see. Really nice volume coming into it. So now this 227 level, I think, is a pretty crucial level. And, you know, we broke right through it, so looking really good. So now we'll look for a dip here. We'll see if we can get a dip entry for a move up through 230. It's pretty hard to buy on the bid straight up on this stock. Unless it's like pushing down through you, and if it's pushing down through you, then quite a lot of buying and selling happening right now. Just moved between 228 and 226 about 4 times in the last 5 seconds. So we'll see what wins out here. Quite a lot of buying and selling, like I said. So see which side ends up. Like to hold above 227. This last 1 minute candle held above 227. Last 5 minute candle is fairly large, so probably want to put in a few other 5 minute candles so we have some actual like levels to work off of. Kind of bounced off of the previous 5 minute candle, red 5 minute candle high, which is sitting just about above 20 or around 26 right now, 225.80. So see what happens. So for all of that buying and selling on that candle, I mean, very little volume actually. It just seemed to be like I guess the bid and the ask was moving quite a bit, so maybe just we have some weird like dark pool volume coming in that I just wasn't paying attention to. But yeah, it moved around quite a bit for it being such low volume. And a lot of buying coming into 228, but it is holding strong. So it seems like quite a big seller sitting at 220 at the moment. We're coming back down to 226. I'm going to try to take off a few shares if we come back up, since it seems like we're selling off a tiny bit at the moment. So we'll see if we can pop back up here. Seem to be falling through the floor at the moment. Really high red volume on this 1 minute candle. See if we get bought back up to 226. On the 5 minute, we're still looking fine. As it pushed up through 228, and it seemed like there was quite a bit of resistance there, it might have been the time to take some profit. But I only have 10 shares, so if I took profit on it, I'd be selling off half my position. So I was kind of trying to be a little careful about it. But once the selling started coming in, I tried to sell some, but it didn't get filled. So coming back up to 227. Put an order, see if we can get filled as we push up through 227. But it's actually looking okay right now. Kind of calmed down a little bit. It's just the thing that scares me is this very high volume on this 1 minute candle. So I do want to think about taking some profit if we come back up. So as we came up there through 226, I just sold off half my position. Just because, I mean, we've seen a lot of selling here. There's quite a bit of, we essentially triple topped at 228, and then when we rejected off of it, at 50% greater volume than any of the other candles we've seen in the last 20 minutes. But if it pops back up, comes back over 228, we'll add back to our position for the expected move up through 230. And while we're watching this, let's see if anything else is going on. Eyes is doing nothing. Ears is also doing nothing. ANTE popped up earlier today. It's pulled back. TRIT pulled back. ANPC, another one that we took a good trade on, but has now pulled back. It's firmly sitting below VWAP. So GameStop is the one making the move right now. So this is the one to be in. So we had very very high volume on the 1 minute 906. The last three candles literally have essentially traded no volume. Like, so I think everyone's just kind of waiting to see what happens next. Um, so I think once we see a break one in one direction or the other, then people will kind of make the decision on what they're going to do. On the 5 minute, as long as we're still holding above 225, we look good. But I mean, that's not a ton of room to run. 224 is the last green candle high prior to this green candle, so that's probably the stop that I'm going to put at. Because if we break down below that, and 223 is the prior green candle low, so maybe if it breaks down below 224, we'll give it a chance to see if it can get bought back up. If not, we'll sell as it's coming into 223. Yeah, so like I was saying, I mean, everyone was kind of waiting to see what happens. This last 1 minute candle ended up turning red, and we're kind of getting some follow on volume from that. But also, just I mean, it's still very very light volume, so nothing to be like very concerned with. If it turns around now and people start buying it back up, then we're still looking really good. Yeah, so the very light volume coming into 224 makes me kind of want to move my stop to the previous green candle low, which is going to be 223, because even if we push down below 224 right now, it's just the volume is, as I say that, the volume's kind of increased just at this moment. We'll see if we hold up above 223. We immediately broke through 223. Selling off quite heavily here. So I just sold off at 223. If we come back up, I'll take another trade on it. But I'd like to see this 5 minute candle pop back up through 226 before I buy any shares on it. We're still holding above VWAP, so it's good. That 222 level is still holding, but a lot of selling volume coming in, like significantly more selling volume than buying volume. So we made like 15 bucks on that trade. We were only trading 10 shares, so not anything too crazy. As good thing that we took took the profit as we were coming up back to 227. Didn't want to take all of it off just because, you know, did have the potential to move up still, but and you can see we are rebounding here, but again, we're getting bought up on extremely light volume still. All of the volume in the last 10 minutes has been in selling, so I will definitely be looking at the stock more once the volume comes back in on the buying side. I'm just not pleased with the selling volume coming into our level of support previously. And we got like 15 minutes to the bell now. See if anything pops up at like 9:15, but I usually don't make trades between like 9:20 and 9:30 just because people are taking profits unless something looks like really 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 good. Like if all of a sudden GameStop the volume doubles and it's just like only buying volume, then yeah, of course I'll jump into it. But unless something looks really really good, probably not going to take a trade on it. Most of the things that we've been looking at today have kind of been pulling back. So ANPC kind of popping up a little bit right now. So let's check out UIES. UIES still, holding below VWAP. It had some big issues at 2150, so we're gonna have to wait for it to break over that level if we're thinking about taking a trade on it. ANPC a few times now has popped up and touched VWAP and then pulled back, so it's just not looking that strong. Seems like the sellers are winning out on that one. OGEN popped up earlier, pulled back, holding above VWAP a tiny bit right now, but still, I think like the upside of this trade is only going to be like 20 cents. We're buying right now. A lot of volume on this candle and it really didn't even move, so it's gonna have to look a lot stronger for me to buy in on that either, or as well. So not a ton of not a ton of things to watch for a move in the near future. I think at the Open, EYES has just been absolutely insane. So obviously, that's definitely one to watch. GME had a crazy move this morning. Everyone's going to be looking at it at the Open, so obviously one to watch there. And ANPC also made a really nice move, and it's holding just below VWAP. So if it starts getting some momentum, coming back up above this $11, 11.20, 11.50 area, then definitely one to make a trade on. But right now, I'm just gonna wait and see, and I probably won't take a trade before the so. It's yeah, good, decent trades this morning. GME was obviously the best trade that we had. We took a few bad trades on EYES, and we had some good trades on AMPC. So up like $7 today. So left some profit on the table with GME, and we see GME just broke through this level of support, 222 just now, which is why I kind of wanted to sell it off as it was coming through 223, just because there was a lot of selling volume coming into it. Now it's dropped down to 219, so probably a good idea to sell it off when I did. Yep, a win is a win, and I will take it. Hopefully, we see momentum continue in the market this week. It's been really nice. I mean, it kind of hasn't been at the times that I was here, unfortunately. We had a good trade on GameStop, and it was a pop up through VWAP, and then had some decent prospects on the UYES. So I hope the momentum stays. The momentum's been really good early market. The momentum's been really good after market open. So I think this has been a great week so far, and hopefully we have a great week through Friday too. So good luck on your trades, everyone. I'll let you know what I traded in the open tomorrow when I stream. And yeah, good luck. I'll see you guys later.